Hello and welcome to this, the historic, epic, landmark Maiden Voyage of Balls Deep Sports Talk. I am your host, Scotty Ball, and I gotta tell you, I couldn't be more honored or more excited to be coming to you every Wednesday night, talking sports for 60 minutes here on WNRadio.com, Northern Lights Radio. So here on Balls Deep Sports Talk, where there's no such thing as too deep, by the way, we will be talking all things sports. Football, basketball, baseball, hockey, golf, NASCAR, boxing, UFC, you name it. If you want to talk it, we'll talk it. Heck, I might even throw some WWE in from time to time. Quite a big fan. So that might be an occasional topic if you want questions or comments or just want to give some feedback in general. You can email us. Again, our email is bdsports@. Also on Twitter, find us there under BD Sports. So anyway, there's a general outline for the show, and we encourage you to participate and listen in every weeknight from 9 to 10 Central Standard Time. That's the time I'll give you because that's where I live. I live in. We're wondering, I bleed purple and gold. Sports. Let's get into it. All right. In my first segment of the show, which for now, for lack of a better title, we're going to call Balls on Fire. And basically, what that is going to entail is whatever topic has me the most worked up, that I feel the most passionate about with my opinion, whether that be negative or positive. It doesn't always have to be a bad thing. Anyway, so the topic I've chosen. I feel that I need to weigh in on it before I can put it to bed for myself. And it is none other than the infamous ending to Super Bowl 49 between the Patriots and the Seahawks. Some people have called this the worst play call of all time. All that was. Those people are absolutely correct. But let me explain to you why. That's why I touch on this, because all people have the right answer on and right take on how terrible of a call it was. I feel that their explanations and reasonings for that is a little incomplete sometimes. So I would like to shed more light onto why, in fact, it was the worst play call of all time, or at least that I've ever seen. Over 30 years. But we'll just leave it at that. But why it was the worst play call of all time. The fact that it was a pass play, and it has nothing to do with the fact that Marshawn Lynch is the starting running back for the Seattle Seahawks and is a phenomenal running back. And you have the ball at the 1 yard line. That is not. Now, to understand why it was the worst play call of all time, you need to understand this in which the call was being made, and you also need to understand just simple decision-making philosophies and techniques for being successful in all areas of life. And what I mean by that is the risk-reward that was involved in the situation. Now, we can throw the reward of whatever play call they want to choose out the window, because any play call that they would have called there had it been successful has the same reward, that being a touchdown. However, they decided to call a play that had an extremely high percentage of risk, and several different risks, might I add. Not just the risk of interception, which it came to be, but there was also a definite risk of that pass being completed had Russell Wilson thrown the magic, perfect back shoulder throw that Steve Young and other analysts have brought up, saying that he led the receiver when he shouldn't have. Okay, I can understand that, but if you follow that through, looking at the replay slowed down, that ball, Lockett, nor the ball would have ever crossed the plane on it and would have stopped him short of the goal line. He wouldn't have been in the end zone. So they would have had to burn their final timeout and consequently wasted their one rushing attempt that Pete Carroll said they felt they had. Now, another thing is Pete Carroll's comments afterwards when he was explaining it. He said that they were, quote, playing for third and fourth down. They were trying to basically burn their second down play, which was one of the reasons for the pass call. It's ridiculous. Until the scoreboard says you're in the lead, you do not play assuming that you're going to score points. If you haven't scored them yet, you celebrate points being scored once they're on the board, not a play or two before. You can't take that attitude. And I just felt like that was the first key mistake there, being just the wrong approach to start with. You should be playing for second and one from the goal line. You should not be playing for third and fourth down. But whatever, let's throw that out the window. You can win with that strategy. Again, I don't believe it's the right strategy, the smartest strategy, or the safest strategy, but you can win with that strategy. The problem is that the specific play call, being a quick slant over the middle, called by offensive coordinator Bevel, does not correspond with that strategy, with that game plan, with that approach. Just about every offensive coordinator in the NFL would tell you that your standard offensive play call with that strategy would be a fade route to the back corner of one of the end zones where your quarterback can either put it where only the receiver can get it or throw it away and go to your third and fourth downs that you said you're playing for. A quick slant route does not allow that play to be burned at all. It's either going to be a touchdown, an incompletion, which is the burn, or an interception. So you've got a 33%, you've got a 33% chance that it's not going to work out for you in the most crucial play of your lives. So there's the standard basic way that you would go about doing that strategy that Pete Carroll said they had in that moment. I've heard other people comment that, well, had it worked out, he would have been a genius because, he passed it and it was a touchdown and everyone was expecting a run. No, that is not the case at all. If it had been a touchdown, he would have been lucky. Not a genius, lucky. With those odds, that 33% chance of it failing horribly, like I said, or somewhere in there, give or take, that is just not the smart way to go about it at all. There's no way it could be genius. It would be lucky if it worked out, not good. Just because something works out, whoever did it, a genius at it. Okay, so let's dismiss that train of thought. But if you were looking for a genius pass play, the closest thing that I've been able to think of would be a play-action bootleg. Where everyone, including their grandma, is expecting to the left side of the field, out to the right, with a tight end or a receiver coming across or whoever you want running with him as his main receiving target. And then he has the option, if they bought on the play fake, to throw the ball to an open guy or to just hang on to it and run it in himself if there's nobody open, or to throw the ball away out of the end zone into the stands whenever he feels like it, because he's going to be out of the pocket very early in the play. That play call gives you the most opportunities for success with the fewest possibilities of it blowing up in your face, going horribly wrong, the way it did. Well, whoop-de-doo, what does it all mean, Basil? Well, it means that although the Patriots are forever titled the Super Bowl winners of Super Bowl 49, the truth of the matter is the Seattle Seahawks beat the Seattle Seahawks in Super Bowl 49, and thus should be remembered as the losers of Super Bowl 49, lesser so than the Patriots should be remembered as the winners, although, they will go down in history as the winners of the Super Bowl. Now, I don't want to completely dismiss what the Patriots did. For many parts of that game, they did look very impressive as a team. They played very well. And they looked like they deserved to win the game should it turn out that way for many parts of that game. But let's face it, they got handed from the Seahawks coaching staff that shouldn't have been even thought of by anyone with the Seahawks. However, part of me does feel that Belichick deserves some credit for making that error on their part possible. If you remember, they got down to the 1-yard line with about 50 seconds left or so in that fourth quarter, and everyone was expecting the run to come. After everyone expected the Patriots to call a timeout, they had 2 of them. They did not. They held on to both of their timeouts and decided to let the clock run. Once they made that decision, it felt like the Seattle Seahawks were completely thrown off. They were so expecting that timeout to be called, and they were going to collect themselves and discuss what they were going to do, but they didn't get it, and it felt like the play, the communication, everything was just a little uncomfortable, a little rushed, what have you. And I do felt that Belichick's coaching genius make a lot of that possible. And also, his coaching and Butler's learning and studying and focusing in the film rooms also made it possible for Butler to make the proper reads pre-snap and then follow through with what he read and make the play that ultimately won the Patriots the Super Bowl. So I do feel that Butler and Belichick both deserve a fair amount, if not all the credit. When I think you have to give it all to Butler and Belichick. That's just my personal opinion. Maybe a tiny, tiny bit to Mr. Edelman or Mr. Brady. But I could give it all to Butler and Belichick and the Seahawks coaching staff. So if we're discussing who on the Patriots side should get the credit for the Super Bowl victory, it only makes sense then to discuss who should get the blame on the Seahawks side. Now, there's several worthy candidates to choose from, but I'm going to give you mine in order of who I think is most responsible and who I think is least responsible, but still has to have a little bit of blame. All right, so here we go. The person on the Seahawks I feel deserves the most blame for that play call is Mr. Bevel, offensive coordinator. I mean, are you kidding me? A slant over the middle where the entire defense is and balls get batted all the time. Are you kidding me? He is the one who suggested to pass first. Carroll approved that suggestion. Then Bevel went and specifically called the quick slant pass play. That was not Carroll's specific call. Carroll was aware of it. Say, overridden it. I don't know how overrode it. We'll go with that. and he didn't. But the whole thought started in the mind